Pick a few niches to create your brand.
You don't have to have a niche set. You don't have to have a plan in place.
Think about what niche you are going to really try to establish yourself in.
Think of what the trendy videos are within your niche.
One of the most commonly given advice and misconceptions that I hear is that you have to post weekly.
I believe if you're not posting one video a week minimum, you're not even trying.
Posting frequently doesn't mean that you're getting better in any way.
The algorithm is obviously going to favor you the more you post.
It's not that the algorithm doesn't like you, it's that your video is not worth watching.
I know this is the exact opposite of what everyone tells you on YouTube when starting a channel.
Sound familiar? I'm Erika Vieira I, YouTube channel producer for over 8 years and strategist to more than 2,000 women creators. And if there's one thing I've learned after producing that many channels, it's that no two strategies are ever the same. There are so many different ways to grow on YouTube. And while yes, there are best practices, the right strategy depends completely on you, your niche, your audience, your schedule, your monetization goals, how much time you have. So let me be clear. This isn't a takedown of the YouTube advice space. I'm part of it. I love it. I think it's great. Creators like Think Media, Ali Abdaal, Vanessa Lau, Modern Millie, there's tons of them. They're doing really, really good work. But here's part of the problem. Too many people are watching too much advice without knowing which parts apply to them and which don't. So if you've ever felt like you're doing everything right, but YouTube still isn't working, or maybe you're overwhelmed by advice that contradicts yourself, or you're stuck on planning but not creating, then this video is for you. Because the real issue isn't too much advice, it's not knowing how to filter out what not to apply and take what you should. By the end of this video, you're gonna learn the 5 biggest mistakes that creators make when consuming YouTube advice, why these mistakes lead to paralysis, burnout, and creative confusion. Plus, you're gonna learn a lot of strategies and tips along the way that will help you actually take the advice that you're learning and apply it to your own content so that you see progress. Ladies, class is in session. The first mistake is what I call analysis paralysis. It's when you spend so much time learning that you never actually start creating. You watch, you take notes, you plan, but that camera never turns on. I had a client who watched over 200 hours of YouTube advice videos before she uploaded her first video. And this is not uncommon. The truth is, you learn more from uploading one imperfect video than from watching 100 perfect tutorials. The mistake is thinking that you're making progress when really you're just consuming content. That dopamine hit of watching advice content tricks your brain into thinking that you are actually doing work and making progress on building out your channel. For a lot of my clients and students, especially those who lean towards perfectionism, this right here, you guys, is where they get stuck. So if this is you and you fall in that camp, this is gonna be how you're gonna fix it. It's okay to watch YouTube advice. It's fine, but you need to watch it with intention. Set a time limit, maximum, maybe 2 videos a week or 30 minutes a day or whatever it is. But don't just mindlessly binge the content. 2, use the one thing rule. For every advice video that you watch, implement just one thing from it. Like, that's my goal. I know there's a lot to a YouTube channel and I'm giving tons of advice all the time, but just take something from it, even if it's just getting you excited to film again. And remember, YouTube is about iteration. Done is way better than perfect and not done. The second mistake is trying to follow too many different strategies. One advice channel says post every day. Another one says, oh, just only do it once a week. Quality over quantity, quantity over quality. One creator says, oh, no, you gotta do shorts. That's the hottest next thing. The other one says, oh, no, only do long form only. I mean, who do you listen to? Me. No, just kidding. No, really, no, but yeah. But seriously, the answer is it really depends. What worked for somebody else might not necessarily work for you. I have 2 clients in the exact same niche. One posts 3 times a week and the other one can only post once a week because that's what fits with her lifestyle. Both channels are doing well. They're both growing. Why? Well, different lives, different resources, different goals. I mean, my one client that can only upload once a week, she's got an entire team working for her. My one client that is uploading 3 times a week, she's doing everything herself. It's all different. Context matters. So how do you handle this? 1, know your constraints. What can you actually commit to so that you don't quit and you don't burn out? 2, follow advice from people who create similar content to you or they work with people that create similar content to you. like me. And don't forget, consistency is way more important than perfection. The third major mistake is chasing the wrong numbers. And this one can feel like success, but it is often not. I call this the vanity metrics focus, and it is everywhere. YouTube is full of advice about going viral, hitting 100K, gaining thousands of views overnight. And while those things look impressive, and those are the types of advice that get the advice channel views, it doesn't always mean that your channel is working, at least not in the way that it actually matters. One of my clients has just 15,000 subscribers, but her channel generated more revenue than another client that has over 100,000. Why? Because her content was tied to a business model. She had a monetization plan. I mean, I will just put it out there. Views don't pay the bills. Strategy does. Subscriber count is not your business model. It's not your brand. And it's definitely not the best measure of your impact and your potential. Does it feel good to have 100,000 subscribers? Yes. Who doesn't want all those silver medals back there? I get it. It makes you feel good about your hard work. But how do you shift out of that vanity mode? Redefine success. What actually matters to you? Maybe it is vanity, but for most people, it's about making money and making an impact, a positive impact on the people that you serve. Track value metrics, email signups, product sales, client inquiries, affiliate link clicks. Stop copying viral creators. Unless you want their business model, their metrics are irrelevant to your channel. YouTube is full of recycled ideas. Creators looking at what's trending, copying formats, relying a lot on AI for scripts or content ideas. But your unique voice is your biggest asset. And the best performing creators that I work with are the ones who lean into what makes them different. So how do you stand out? One, limit how much you consume from creators in your niche. I always say it's good to be inspired, but sometimes when you watch too much content, you want to be aware of what's going on in your niche, but you don't want to rely on what's going on in your niche for your content ideas. Look for inspiration outside of YouTube. That is most often the best, or outside of your niche. You can get some really good inspiration from other channels in totally different niches that you can apply to your own. And ask yourself, what unique angle do I bring to this topic? The fifth mistake is the action, consumption, and balance. This is when you're spending way more time consuming advice content than actually creating content. For every 1 hour you spend watching advice, you need to spend 5 hours creating or implementing that advice. YouTube rewards action. The more you create, the faster you learn. So if you're watching me right now and thinking, this is helpful, great. Don't just watch it. Take one thing that I said today and do it and apply it. All right, let's recap what we've covered today, the 5 mistakes. 1 is analysis paralysis, when you have way too much information and you end up not doing anything with it. 2 is conflicting advice, when you watch a lot of information, but it's all different advice that you don't know how to implement on your own channel. 3 are vanity metrics, paying attention to the wrong numbers because that's what the experts are telling you to do. 4 is originality crisis, not looking internally and introspectively and outside of YouTube for your content ideas. And 5th is that action, consumption, and balance, consuming way more than you actually create. YouTube advice isn't inherently good or bad. It is a tool. And the most successful creators aren't the ones who follow the most advice. They're the ones who actually apply it strategically. So your challenge is to pick one takeaway from this video, one strategy, and implement it this week. So let me know in the comments what that action will be, and also let me know if you are somebody who watches a bunch of the advice videos and has made some of these mistakes. Up next, check out this video that I specifically picked, especially if you like this one. And until next time, keep shining, keep creating, and most importantly, keep being you. Mwah.